Midnight light on a dim-lit screen, clicking through stories you wouldn't believe. Cold case trails and courtroom scenes, whispers from the grave and media dreams. Truth is stranger, hearts beat faster in the shadows of a news disaster. Scrolling deep where secrets hide, found the stories time won't deny. In headlines, the tales collide. Justice and mystery side by side. From backwoods crimes to breaking news lines, you shine a light where the silence lies. Oh, headstones and headlines, your tales collide. Justice and mystery side by side. From backwoods crimes to breaking news lines, you shine a light where the silence lies. Oh, headstones and headlines, you dig where the truth won't die. Small town rumors and urban fear, a voice for the lost who can't speak here. Through every name, through every case, you hold the truth in a steady place. Cameras roll but justice lingers, truth unravels through careful fingers. Tell the stories, speak their names in a world that's quick to look away. Headstones and headlines, the tales collide. Justice and mystery side by side. From missing files to late night trials, you trace the echoes through every mile. Oh, headstones and headlines, your tales collide. Justice and mystery side by side. From missing files to late night trials, you trace the echoes through every mile. Oh, headstones and headlines, you dig where the truth won't die. Someone from the dark, you walk right in with a question and a camera lens. It's not just the crime, it's the lives they live. The voices still talking from the books unread. Headstones and headlines, the veil is thin. Truth gets louder when you begin. With every view, every line, bring the forgotten back to life. Oh, headstones and headlines, you dig where the truth won't die. Yeah, headstones and headlines, you tell the stories that time can't hide.
Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. How is everyone? I hope you're having a good day. I had the day off today, so my day was good because I didn't have to go to work. So we have 2 more days and then it's summer break. Tomorrow is a full day, but we did get an email that we're going to have lunch catered, so that's kind of cool. I don't have to worry about bringing lunch the rest of the week because Friday we'll go in for about an hour and then they'll tell us to go home. And then it is time to start summer break for the next 8 weeks. So I am excited about that. And I'm looking forward to having more of a, I guess, regular schedule for YouTube. I feel like Monday, Wednesday, Friday for this channel would work out best, maybe the occasional Sunday. But my second channel, I need to get moving on, because I was looking today. I haven't been live over there in I think 3 weeks. So some of you may have gotten the notification already, but I am going to go live on my second channel this weekend, and y'all didn't see what's coming. Y'all are not going to see what's coming. Yeah, there's a lot of things being said that are not true. And I'm done lying to support people in their lies. That's all I'm going to say. But a current narrative going around about a certain creator is a complete lie. You can go to the court and see it for yourself. That's what I did. And I don't necessarily believe what the creator is saying, but I do know that she didn't have court today. So that's all I'm going to say about that right now. Because I'm done. I'm done. If all of this was an illusion in my head, a fairy tale, what was it? A parasocial, I think that's what it was, a parasocial fairy tale, something like that. Well, then I'm going to come back to real life. In real life, I don't like lying, and I don't like lying about people. So, anyways, moving on. I hear my messages coming in. So, let me just look at chat. Sorry. Hey, Steph, thanks for being here. Doodles, Evil Queen, Lunatic. Hey, Nanny Sharon. I'm the first to like your other live. Okay, well, that's good. That's good. I did share it on my community page because, like I said, y'all are not going to see what's coming. You did not see what's coming. Granted, I don't necessarily know what I'm going to share on that live stream. I'm going to come up with a script because I need a plan. I'm not going to just go in there guns blazing and then say something that I shouldn't. So it's going to be organized. I might even have people on my panel. However, there are 2 people that will not be on my panel, but anybody else, if you want to join, feel free. Feel free. That will be on Saturday. Hey, Okie, thanks for being here. All right, I'm scooting. I see that there's 21 people in here. So, hey, Pookie, thanks for being here. Hey, Lost Lily. Good to see you. Rock a bit. Thanks for being here. And I will say, just another side note, I saw someone's community post that said I should get a princess crown. I would love a princess crown. So if that person happens to be listening, let me know. I'll put a princess crown on my Amazon wish list. Doodles, no, she did not have court today. Her ex had a court date. She did not. And I mean, I guess I'll just address this quickly. Yesterday I got a message saying that B had court today. So I went to the docket because, you know, like she said, anyone can go on to judici.com, go to Knox County, and find what's going on. So I went to hers, and I'm like, there's no court date under her name. So I'm like, well, maybe it's under something else. But then there was nothing more recent. So I was like, okay. So I clicked on her ex's name, looked at his docket. There was the court date. Because the court date for today was a motion for her ex's lawyer to withdraw from representing him. That was the court date today. A motion to withdraw. That's it. Not for her, for him. So maybe I'm missing something. I'm a very black and white person. I don't see, there's no gray area. It's either this or this. And that's what I saw. So whatever else B said, I don't know if she's telling the truth or not. Honestly, I don't care. It's not my business. But I do know that she was correct in saying she did not have court today. Her ex did. Anybody can find it. Anybody can find it. All right, so moving on. Hey, KCG, thanks for being here. Amy Lynn, good to see you. Yes, she did, and she was correct. It was her ex, not her. And, you know, running with narratives, I mean, everyone knows B and I do not like each other. We never have, we never will. But one thing that I will do is the right thing. Even though it, you know, like my one live stream thumbnail said, even though it's hard, sometimes the hard things are the right things or something like that. And it's true. But I'm not gonna sit by and like have people lie. She didn't have court today. Because believe me, if it was on her court thing, I wouldn't even be talking about it. Okay. I know, you know, and the thing is, I mean, I lost myself for a while there, and I stood quiet. I stood quiet because I am a loyal person. I will stand by you until you know, don't stand by me or pretend I never existed. I mean, that's what hurts the most. Now I feel like I'm like a cliche because that song, What Hurts the Most, isn't that a song by What Hurts the Most is So Close. Is that Lone Star? I think it's Lone Star. Anyways, that's what really bothers me. That it was all pretend when it wasn't. But anyways, I digress. Hey, Team Brit, thanks for being here. I need to get out of the negative Nancy mood. Okay. Because we have some serious things to talk about, and I am not going to let that rain on my parade. I am going to rain on that parade on Saturday. I'm going to rain on that parade Saturday. And that gives me a few days to think about it, to not be impulsive or, you know, to sleep on it. I may even change my mind about what I talk about Saturday. Who knows? Who knows? Thanks, Amy, for hitting the like. And for anyone else here, feel free to hit the like or dislike. Engagement is engagement. Hey, True Seeker, thanks for being here. Oh, Team Brit is doing 9 things at once right now. Yep, middle of conversation. Well, it was kind of, I had a short statement and then I kind of just kept rambling. So, yeah. You know, I gotta rein it in, Emmy. Rein it in. Hey, Rhonda. Good to see you. Queen Bella. Okay, I'm going to get to the bottom. Hi, I am to bear. Marie, the Maina. Okay, because we got a lot to talk about, so I want to make sure that I see everyone. Yeah, Team Brit, I will, well, you probably know, but I'll send you an email. Evil Queen says, you should never make yourself small to make someone else feel big. Well, I don't know if it was necessarily that. Like, I still, you know, spoke my mind. I just didn't speak it publicly. You know, it's kind of like, I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, that too, Doodle's not worth it. All right, so I got to the bottom. So thanks again, everybody, for being here. If you are new here, welcome. If you're in the bushes, say hi. There is only one person blocked on this channel. So if you've been blocked in the past, you are no longer blocked. I will say that if you have done me wrong in the past, you should probably come in with an alt. Just saying. Because as I said before, I don't forget what people say. I'm not as forgiving, and if you say really bad things about me, I have no forgiveness to give you. I have no bygones. I don't let bygones be bygones. Nope. Because it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, so today, getting on with it, because I'm rambling again. There's a few stories. It's going to be kind of a grim live. This morning when I woke up, I saw a story that is local to me where 6 people were found dead in an apartment. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. And the first thing I thought of was carbon monoxide, but it's not winter. So that would be possible, but not probable. And it turns out it was 4 children and 2 adults, a mother and grandmother. So the mom of the 4 children and then the grandmother. I'm not sure if it was the mom of the mother or the father. Obviously, because the investigation is new, law enforcement is not saying much about it. But we have that story. And then I also have a story that I had mentioned a couple of weeks ago about a home that was in foreclosure, and the person who bought the home at auction discovered 3 dead bodies inside. Well, let me rephrase, 3 skeletons inside. And in that story, it turns out that 2 of the skeletons were a mom and her son. The mom was the last recorded owner of the home. DNA is still being used to determine who the 3rd person is. So we're going to get into that. And then another story I have that is, I guess all of these are triggering, but this one, especially if you're an animal lover, there is an alleged rescue that claimed to, take animals, specifically dogs. They would take dogs in to train them, get them adopted, kind of, get them housebroken. And it turns out that over 700 dogs that were, what's the word? I don't want to say, I guess, left at the shelter, surrendered. That's the word I wanted. Over 700 dogs who had been surrendered to this rescue are now unaccounted for. They have begun digging on the premises, on the property, and they have found several remains. So I'm not going to say more than that. We'll get into, I have the press conference, and then I also have an article about that. And I realized I forgot to write the rest of my list. I think the last story, or no, I have a story about France. There have been dozens of people have drowned because of the heat, sweltering heat there. And then the last story is about a cat, because we always have a feel-good story at the end. So the last story is about a cat. Yeah, Doodles, it's I read it, and I was okay, but believe me, I will let you know when we get to there, because I know some of you won't be able to stomach it. And speaking of animals, I have not yet got the mom and baby because I overslept this morning. And when I went to my parents, they were nowhere to be found. So I am going tomorrow after work to find them. Yeah, and Doodles, I read the article, and I know I haven't watched the whole press conference, but I've read the article. So as I'm reading, I will tell you, like, if you don't want to hear what I'm going to say next, like, mute for a little bit. Yeah. All right. So we are going to start with the story in Burlington about the home in foreclosure. And, when I first saw this, I'm like, I don't know how auction really works. Like, I feel like if a house is going to auction, it should at least have an inspection or some type of walkthrough. It seems like in this case, they took pictures of the outside of the property and the home, but the person who took the photo said they couldn't even find where the driveway was. So I don't know. I just feel like it was very overgrown, and, I probably wouldn't go in there either, but I just feel like if you're going to, I guess it's as is. So I guess they don't necessarily have to have an inspection. Timu inspection. Yeah, I guess so. My parents are missing? No, not my parents. No. Team Brit, maybe you don't know. I have my parents have a mama cat and a baby at their house. And I was planning on going there this morning to try and trap them, but I overslept. I was supposed to be there by 8 and I didn't get up until like 7:30. So I'm going tomorrow. Yeah, no, my parents aren't missing. Okay, here we go.
Turning now to the mystery of human bones found at a Burlington home. Tonight, we are learning about the homeowners and visits from the fire department in the weeks leading up to that discovery. NBC Connecticut's Jane Chaco tells us what firefighters noticed about the home that turned them around.
22 days before the gruesome discovery inside this stand.
Okay, so you can see it's very overgrown. You know, it reminds me of some of the houses like near me. And, you know, I live in a really small town. And so we have like one main road. We have one main road, and then you have a road that goes across the river. So like two main roads. And some of the houses have been abandoned for years, decades even. And you can tell like now it's just so overgrown. It makes your town look like ugly. You know, like when things are uncared for, and there's several homes like that. And I just don't know why our mayor doesn't do anything, or code enforcement, but it is what it is. But you can see how if this is in foreclosure, someone's not going to go and try to take pictures inside because it's overgrown and it could be dangerous. Who knows what, you know, could be around there.
In Witch Lane home, a fire alarm was going off. Firefighters came, but they didn't find any smoke or fire. They said the home seemed empty from the outside. A report says entry could not be gained without causing damage, and the alarm was left sounding. Then on Sunday, the new owner of the home walked in and found 3 skeletons. That's
so a few weeks prior, a fire alarm was going off. Firefighters don't see any smoke, don't see any fire. So they're like, all right, we're just going to let it keep beeping because there's nothing that warrants us to go in. So then the new buyer gets there and, you know, makes his way into the home and discovers 3 people who had been there, I mean, for some time. I mean, I don't even know what I would do. I would probably think it was some type of prop or like Halloween decoration that just kind of was like left. I don't know. But 3, I don't know. It's just like, it's so like, it's sad that no one realized that these 3 people were missing. It's so sad. Yeah, Team Brit. I will find out who they are. They did, they identified 2 of them. I am to Bear says, we just call that living in the woods here. Most houses in Minnesota adore their trees and shields from the road. Hey, Tinker, how are you? And anyone else that I missed, thanks so much for being here. Team Brit says, that's wild, not even having any kind of walkthrough before auction. Did anyone miss? Oh, so I said the same thing. I hadn't even seen your comment. You said the same thing as me. Yeah, like, it's just... You know, let me Google. Let's see, do homes have to have an inspection before auction? Okay, so according to Google, homes do not legally have to have an inspection before an auction, but it is highly recommended. Auctions are almost always as is and final. You usually cannot add an inspection contingency to your purchase contract, meaning you take the home exactly as it stands. Once the auction concludes, the sale is binding and unconditional. If you discover foundation damage or plumbing issues afterward, you are still financially responsible. A pre-auction report tells you exactly how much money to hold back for repairs, preventing you from overpaying. Some mortgages or specific bank loan programs mandate safety and structural inspections before they will release funds. Sometimes the seller or auction house will provide a pre-prepared building report for buyers to read. You can usually hire a private inspector to evaluate the property during scheduled open houses or preview periods. If you are bidding through platforms like auction.com, you are typically responsible for your own due diligence, and interior access varies. So there we have it. They are not legally required.
Same day, police called the fire department to help test the home for carbon monoxide. They didn't find any. While police are looking into how these 3 people died and who they are, we're working to learn where the previous homeowners are and if they're alive. Court records show a couple bought the 4-bedroom home in 2019. Mortgage payments were regularly made until November 2024.
So November 2024, that's almost, well, that's like, yeah, that's like a year and a half. Thank you so much, Steph B. Let me see if I can see those over here. I can only see that you gifted 5 memberships. So, looking at my phone, Lunatic. So Lunatic, Team Brit, Tinker, Angie, Tickety Boo. That's a cool name. And Catherine Halubowicz. Congratulations. Welcome to the Stoners. If you happen to see Steph B, please thank her. Hey, Georgia Peach, what's going on? Good to see you. So, November 24. So, I'm thinking that whatever may have happened to those 3 people, if they were the owners, which I told you before, the last listed owner was the woman that was found deceased, and her son was also identified as one of the deceased. The third person, DNA testing is ongoing. And that is a huge mortgage. I mean, maybe not for some of you, but for me, in my little town, that's a lot of money. Like $3,300. Holy crap. What would an insurance premium disbursement be? Good question. So maybe, let's see. Like I pay my maybe like because like my mortgage company pays my home insurance through escrow. So maybe that's what it is. Let's see. Let me just look up. What is insurance premium disbursement? There it is right there. So an insurance premium disbursement is the payment of an insurance premium from a financial account, such as an escrow account or a premium financial loan, directly to the insurance carrier. Okay, so I was right, because my home insurance goes right through escrow. It ensures that your insurance coverage remains continuously active without requiring a large upfront lump sum. So it says for homeowners, a portion of your monthly mortgage payment is deposited into an escrow account. When your policy renews, the lender or loan servicer handles the disbursement by sending the funds directly to the homeowner's insurance company to ensure no coverage lapses. Rather than paying an annual premium up front, policyholders can use a third-party financing company, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So it kind of just says the same thing. So there we have it. Doodles, not that I read. I didn't watch the entirety of the next clip about this, but they may say it. Hey, Popcorn, thanks for being here.
That's when late fees started piling up and the foreclosure process began in August 2025. That fall, an appraiser...
Okay, so let's see. So November 2024 was the last payment. And then August 2025 was when it went up for auction. That's like 9 months. Right? 11 minus 8. Yeah, 9 months. And they may have been there this entire time. And you know, like Team Brit and I said earlier, like no one realized, they had no one that realized, or, you know, like they're not making payments, and, you know, the bank gave them that much leeway. And Smokin', I did see you sent something. Let me see if I can see it on my phone, because I can't see it. Oh, I guess I can't. Oh, there it is. A chili. Thank you so much, Smokin'. I appreciate that.
Surveyed the home, taking pictures from the outside. The report said, quote, I could not during an auction. Neighbor.
And so it just, like, they didn't show up to court hearings. They didn't pay their mortgage. I mean, clearly they didn't have anyone, like the story we're going to get to next that happened, in my area. They didn't have anyone to call in a welfare check saying, hey, I haven't seen these people in a while. Could you go check out the property? And it could be rural. It could be very rural where they don't have people close.
Tell us the couple that lived here kept to themselves and were rarely seen outside, and even noticed their driveway wasn't plowed during a snowy winter, so they knocked on the door to see if they're okay, but no one answered. This story has piqued the interest of...
Okay, so I stand corrected. People did go and at least attempt. They saw the driveway wasn't plowed when it would have been in the past. They went and knocked on the door, but nobody answered.
Many in this small rural town, people have been stopping by to see the house they have so many questions about.
Everybody knows everybody in the neighborhood because, if you walk by, if you drive by, everybody's waving at you. Everybody knows where you work, what you do. So it's definitely different. There's something like this doesn't happen in this neighborhood.
Jane, this is a strange one. We're now 3 days into the investigation. We're talking about the skeletal remains of 3 people. I know you've got a lot of calls in to state police trying to get some answers here. Where do we go from here?
So we're trying to learn who these people are, when they died, and how they died. That's the biggest mystery. And police said that there doesn't seem to be anything suspicious or criminal about this, and they wouldn't elaborate when we asked them to explain.
Nanny, this is Burlington, Connecticut, which I will look and see
why they think that. And as you know, years of reporting with decomposed bodies, it could take a while to find out a cause of death.
Jane, we've got questions. We know you're going to stay on top of it for us.
We all have questions. So Burlington, all right, it's a decent size city. Let's see. Okay, so it's south of, actually, I'm going to say it's east of Hartford, Connecticut. So it's very close to the New York, Connecticut border. All right, what the heck did I just do? There we go. But yes, it's probably like 30 minutes west of Hartford, Connecticut. And it says it is a rural town. Population was 9,500 in 2020. It was incorporated in 1806.
Jane Chaco, thank you. Mystery of skeletons found inside a bird.
Doodle says if they were in their beds, maybe gas or monoxide leak, no foul play. Possibly. Right. And it was November. So, I mean, technically, sometimes what is happening? Why is this on there? I try not to put my heat on in November, but sometimes I do. So it could be carbon monoxide. If that's the last time, I don't either, Queen Bell. I don't answer my door because most people go to my front door, and if I don't know who you are, or I'm not expecting you, I'm not even going to talk to you through the ring camera. You can just leave. Yeah, that's true, Doodles. They did say no foul play suspected. So, but at the same time, if they're skeletonized, it may be hard to determine, exact cause of death. I don't know. Don't know. All right. So this next clip is from yesterday. So they, as I said, they did identify 2 of the 3 people.
Mystery of skeletons found inside a Burlington home. We now know who 2 of them are, the previous homeowner and her son. The third person hasn't been identified yet. NBC Connecticut's Jane Chaco has the latest developments, including an interview with a delivery driver who claims to have smelled death coming from the home.
What many suspected is now confirmed to be true. One of the 3 found dead in this Sandwich Lane home is the homeowner, Sally Ann Cash. Another is her son, 22-year-old Brian Cash. The third set of remains is being tested for DNA. Sally Ann and her husband bought the home in 2019, according to court documents.
So I would assume that the third person would be her husband if they bought it in 2019, but possibly not. Possibly not. Although if they can't find her husband anywhere, then I would assume that it's probably him.
Neighbors told us they rarely saw the couple outside. A delivery driver didn't see anyone at the home either.
I never saw a car. I've never seen any sort of movement.
He says he dropped off packages periodically in 2023, but he was at the house more often that October, delivering what he recalls were cleaning products almost every day. He suspects someone was getting the boxes since they were gone every time he came back. Near the end of the month, he brought a package to the door and was hit with a stench.
It was just very sour and...
Oh my, are you kidding? So this guy, and like I said, I didn't watch this whole thing, so I don't know what he's going to say, but he may correct me. Yeah, if I smell something foul, like you can tell if it, then again, he might have thought maybe it was a dead animal, you know, and you don't think that there's going to be people in there.
Foul, so it smelled like death. I didn't immediately know what it was, but I called Troop L in Litchfield, Connecticut, and I asked them to do a wellness check, and I never heard anything back from that.
About a year later in 20...
Okay, so I'm hoping that the news the news outlet will do more investigation into what, if anything, may have happened after this man called in a welfare check because he smelt something like death. You know, but same thing, like just like, you know, the neighbors went and knocked on the door and they didn't answer. I mean, I don't know the protocol. Team Brit says my spidey sense is kicking in. She said once you smell human decay, you never forget that odor. I will say that is one thing that I have not had to experience. Yeah, red flags for sure. Evil Queen.
2024, regular mortgage payments seem to have stopped, according to debt documents. The home went into foreclosure. It was sold to a new buyer who discovered the skeletons on June 14th. Despite the gruesome discovery, a judge ruled the sale can go forward.
Wait, let me rewind that. So he discovered the skeletons prior to the sale going through. So that would tell me that this man, whoever was thinking of buying it, he probably purchased it at auction, found that, and then the judge said, well, the sale can still go through. Like, you should be able to, like, back out. Like that, I don't know.
And I never heard anything back from that.
About a year later in 2024, regular mortgage payments seem to have stopped, according to debt documents. The home went into foreclosure. It was sold to a new buyer who discovered the skeletons on June 14th.
Okay, because the auction was June 6th. So whoever the buyer was, Deposit required to bid $82,000. $82,000 was the bid required. And it says inspection, if possible, commencing must be like at sale or whatever.
The gruesome discovery, a judge ruled the sale can go forward. A new document uploaded today says the attorney managing the sale never went into the house because he, quote, never received permission from the owner. The property appeared abandoned, but new keep out and owner occupied signage were put outside the house.
So it says never received permission from owner. Property appeared abandoned, but new keep out and owner occupied signage was erected the night before auction per neighbors. What? That is wacky. Who would have put signs out front? This is bizarre. Cheese says, what was it? Does it say what the total price is? If they don't say it in this clip, I'll try to find it. Marie says, wouldn't the bank send someone for appraisal? Well, I don't think so, because it was at auction. They probably just went with, I don't know. Yeah, the person who did this, right? She says, $80K, I'll take as many skeletons as it could hold. Oh my gosh.
Per neighbors. Those signs are the reason a locksmith was not hired as written in the documents. They are still posted outside the home, but who put them there remains a mystery.
And Keisha, from what we've seen in those court documents, no one has entered the home since the foreclosure process began. And that is typical if you don't have the homeowner's permission.
Yeah, that's part of the foreclosure process. Okay, so it begs the question, Jane, has anyone been to that house?
Well, you'll remember last week we told you that the firefighters, they came in May. There was a fire alarm going off. They didn't see any smoke or fire, so they had left. And that delivery driver you just heard from mentioned calling police for a wellness check. We did contact police to find if they'd made that check, and we submitted records requests to also confirm that. Still waiting to hear back. And we still want to know how these 3 people died. That is still a mystery. The medical examiner says they're working to learn that too.
Well, I know you will continue asking questions, and as you get those answers, bring them back to us. The mystery deepens.
Okay, so they did not answer about, let's see if I can find an article that, let's see. Holy shit. All right, let's take a guess. How much do y'all think that this property sold for? I'll give you a minute because I know there's a little delay. So the deposit required was $80,000. Put your guesses in as to how much this property sold. And just to give an idea, it is 4 bedrooms, built in 2002. All right, so Nanny says 300K. Doodle says 300K. Cheese says 54K. Smokin' says 133K. Queen Bella says 800K. So the property was estimated to be worth over 800,000. So the Burlington, Connecticut foreclosed home on Stanwich Lane, where 3 sets of human remains were discovered, sold at an auction for $525,000. The buyer had purchased the 4-bedroom, 2002 built property as is for the final hammer price prior to discovering the bodies, though the home's fair market value was previously estimated over $800,000. The grim discovery was made by the winning bidder on June 14th. Following the incident, the property's court-appointed representative filed a motion asking for guidance on how to proceed with the closing and whether the buyer's $82,000 deposit should be refunded. The presiding judge ultimately ruled to continue with the closing process. Authorities identified 2 of the deceased as former homeowner Sally Ann Cash and her 22-year-old son, Brian Cash. And I believe Sally was 54, if I remember correctly. Thanks, Angie. That's so cute. Look at the butterfly. So cute. Thank you so much. That was really cool. Well, the identity of the third person was undergoing DNA testing. Okay. I was just going to see if there was anything. Let me see if the New York Times has anything extra that we didn't. Okay. Oh. So actually, let me put this back up. So this must be, I'm guessing, from Google images. Like, you can actually see what the house looks like and where the driveway should have been. Thanks, Steph B, again for gifting 5 memberships. So Popcorn, Tammy T, Jennifer Hineyhole. Wow, that's a blast from the past. I haven't seen her in a hot minute. Frankie Frankenstein and Monkey As all received a membership. Congratulations. Welcome to the Stoners. And if you happen to be listening to this now or on the replay, please be sure to say thank you to Steph B. Yeah, Steph B is super kind. So really the driveway, because what they were showing on a lot of the news was this part of the house, like over here. I didn't realize that there was that much land in front of the home. That's a lot of land in front of it. Because if we go back to, let me see if they show. Well, so they had, that's the side of the house. Let me get, so here's the front part, like at an angle. And granted, they did zoom in, so you can't really tell how far they are from the road. Let me see if there's, oh, here's one. Okay, so that actually, this is a better image right here because the driveway would be like right here where those big trees are. Because that looks like the garage right here. Oh, that's true cheese. I wonder, let me see. I'm wondering how many acres it was. Let's see. 10. It says a little more than 2 acres. So, I mean, not a huge property, but that's crazy. So yeah, so that was the garage. So the driveway was where those big trees were, right in the middle. Steph B said, "Oh my God, I thought all those cats were on the property in the last pic." Cats? What cats? That the property taxes are high? No, let me see. Property tax. I'm going to put that in too. Property. Oh, Google's saying to use the tax bill search and pay. Nobody's got time for that right now. Okay, so I'm just going to skim through this quick. I'm going to take this down. I'm just going to skim quick and see if there... Okay, so state police said that there was no indication of criminal activity. A determination of their causes of death remains pending. So it says the Cape Cod style home, which was built in 2002, was purchased on June 6th at auction for $525,000 by Edward Marchion. He could not be reached for comment. Sally Ann Cash and Paul Cash had taken out a loan of nearly $400,000, which is now held by Shell Point Mortgage Servicing before the property was foreclosed. Mr. Marchione put down an $82,000 deposit for the property, which had a listed fair market value of $820,000. It says, so far there are no changes to the validity of the sale. The Cashes had secured a loan in 2019 for the property in Burlington, which is about 20 miles west of Hartford. Attempts to reach the Cashes and their relatives were unsuccessful. Okay, so they tried to contact relatives as well. A state marshal had left a summons at the house in August 2025. In October, a motion was made for a default judgment because the owners failed to appear in court. In November, a foreclosure was requested, which the court approved in March. Since 2021, the fire department had received multiple calls to the residents. 3 medical calls were made between November and December 2021, and last month the department responded to an alarm. It says, while not a frequent occurrence, human remains have been found before inside of foreclosed or abandoned homes. In 2020, the buyer in a foreclosure auction in Maryland found the body of a 39-year-old woman who had been a resident inside. And in 2015, a man who purchased a foreclosed home in Florida discovered mummified remains of the former owner. Oh my gosh. You know, they should have a disclosure about that. They should have a disclosure about that in, you know, well, and I guess they say as is, so she says, so does he now own the skeletal remains? If it were me, I'd want them. I'd probably say no. It's probably against the law. As is, I want everything in it, on it, around it. Hey, KCG, listening in bushes, but I'm not feeling well. I hope you feel better. Team Britt says it will probably be really nice once they fix it up. I agree. Yeah, Marie, it's no weird family or friends reported them missing, and they said they tried to reach out to relatives and couldn't get a hold of them. So, like, I mean, no friends, or like, who had said about the son's friends? I just saw that. Doodles, not even the son's friends. And he was, what did I say, 24? Oh gosh, this is taking a hard left turn here. Lunatic says if the house is peaceful, leave the skeletons. If it's not peaceful, bury them with respect. I would assume that, you know, they should, you know, receive a proper burial, whether it's on their own land or somewhere else. Team Britt says something is suspicious about this to me. Maybe it's just me. Well, what's weird is the signs. Like, who put the signs there saying keep out and no trespassing? The night before, or they said what, the day before the auction, or a few days before? Like, that's weird. That's really weird. Yes, and speaking of turn, we're going to turn things now to a story that I saw this morning that took place close to where I'm at, where 6 people were found dead in an apartment. It was part of a complex, and police have stated that it was 4 children, their mother, and grandmother. And when you hear some of the facts of this, it kind of goes along with the story we just talked about. Like, why did it take so long for someone to say something or notice it or say, you know, these kids are usually always outside playing. We haven't seen them in a while. I mean, I know sometimes people don't want to get involved because you never know what kind of people you're dealing with. But I just feel like when kids are involved, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. So this took place in Mechanicville, New York, which is east of Albany. So it's closer to the Vermont border. It's right next to the Hudson River. So between Interstate 87 and the Hudson River.
Let's get back to that breaking news that we have been following overnight. 6 people found dead in a mechanic.
That's a good point, Team Brit. I didn't even think about the mail is piling up in the mailbox something. Even with the last house, like unless they had, I didn't see a mailbox outside. Doesn't mean there wasn't one, but yeah, that would be weird too. Like either they weren't going to the post office to pick up their mail, or like I'm really bad. I don't get my mail every single day. I think the last time today I said I probably should check my mail. Sometimes I don't check it for like 2 weeks because I don't really, it's mostly junk mail. I get most of the important stuff, in email. But I mean, that would make sense. Like you would say something. Georgia Peach, did you have a chance? Look, I did not. Let me write that down again. Now that I have, I need to get more organized. I write things down and then I say, oh, I need to look at that. And then I get distracted. But I will. In what state was that, Georgia Peach? Oh, from Georgia. Duh, Emmy. It's right in front of your face. Okay, I wrote that down. Team Brit says, I hope they tried to contact family and friends before making this public. Wouldn't that be a twist in the case if they waited until after? I know. I need to get it together. I have, well, even like, I just, like, I have so much stuff. Like, I have these clothes that I've been meaning to put, sell online. 2 years. It's been 2 years. I'm getting rid of them. I'm not even looking. It's just going in a bag and I'm donating it. Clearly I don't need it. Yeah, Steph B, it's gotten worse. As I've aged, I get doing one thing and then I'm like, oh crap, I need to do that. So like the other night, I was like, okay, I need to do a Walmart order because I needed something. I don't know what I started doing, but then I got to bed and I'm like, damn it, I forgot to do my freaking Walmart order. Like, what is wrong with you, Emmy? Get your life together. I just think like I try to do too many things at the same time instead of just, I need to make a list and then like, okay, this is what you're going to do. Then you're going to do this. But then like I'll do dishes. I'll start doing dishes. Then I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to do this. So then I'll go do what I forgot to do and then forget that I was doing the dishes. It's really bad. It's really bad. No, Marie, I didn't donate them or put them online to sell. And I was listening to one of my older live streams today from like almost 2 years ago, where I said I was going to grift to get my car detailed. I'm like, 2 years? It feels like I just said I wanted to get my car detailed. So this summer, I'm getting my car detailed. I mean, it's just, I don't know, like, there's just too much going on. There's just too much going on. I think a personality transplant would work for me. And, I have friends who they would get really frustrated with me because I would be in a conversation with them, like texting. And then I'd be like, oh my God, I forgot to do this. And then I just walk away and I'd start doing something. And then I come back and they're like, we were in a conversation. I'm like, well, I had to go do this. Like, it's bad. It's so bad. And that's why, like, Pookie, if she's still in here listening, Pookie can attest to it. We'll be just chatting back and forth, and then I get distracted. I mean, maybe she gets distracted. I think it's me. I'm just like, I get doing stuff. Sometimes it takes me a while, but I always do respond. I might get distracted. Yeah, Bella, it does get worse as you get older. Hey, Bernadette, I'm actually talking about that. You're and good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I'm just about to talk about that right now. You'll hold me accountable. I've started doing, I put everything in my Google Calendar, or I text message myself. And then I look at my text messages and then I remember what I'm supposed to be doing. Evil Queen says, the doctor says make lists and use a time. I even have Alexa remind me, and I still don't do it. Hey, SoFlo, what's going on? Good to see you. All right, so let's get into this because I just realized it's already 8 o'clock. So we need to put a little pep in our step, and Emmy needs to stop getting distracted. See that? But it's okay. If we don't get to all the stories, there's always another day. I used to, now I use my cell phone a lot more than I did, but I still keep Post-it notes in my car, and I would write down, because when you're driving, sometimes you think of stuff you forgot to do. So I would get a Post-it note, write on it, and then stick it right on my dashboard. I would have to put sticky notes on there reminding myself to get gas. It's crazy. So I'd have Post-it notes everywhere, but I would remember to do it because the first thing I would see when I got into the car, it said, get gas. I would say get gas.
Mechanicsville apartment building.
Yeah, CBS 6 had a crew at the scene well into the night and early this morning as investigators continued their work. And we sent JT Fetch and Laura Jamette back to the scene. JT Fetch joining us live right now. And JT said it's still a really active scene there, as you can see behind you.
Yeah, Olivia and Julia, it may have been hours ago that this morbid discovery was made, but as you can see here behind me, it's still a very active scene. Just as the sun comes up this morning, we'll take a look here. We have Mechanicville Police here along with State Police and perhaps even other agencies. You can see that a part of Harris Avenue here in Mechanicville is closed off to crime scene tape. You can see crime scene investigators in those white overalls. They've been going in and out of the home so far this morning. So obviously still a lot to uncover here. And here is what we know. As you said, 6 people were found dead inside an apartment here on Harris Avenue. The massive response, including the state police, local officers, and sheriff's deputies, they first descended on the scene around 6:30 last night. We know the grim discovery started as a welfare check. A neighbor contacted police after not hearing from the residents here for about 2 weeks, telling us their last...
So this guy said 2 weeks. In another clip from a different media outlet, they said a few days. So I don't know. It was an extended period of time. And I just think if they had 4 kids, depending on their ages, and they were always outside playing, you would notice, well, where have the kids been? Where's the mom been? The grandma been? Like, I would think that they would be outside or doing things. But then, when I say it out loud, like I have some students who I don't see for months. And I contact home, no response. Contact home, no response. School, the school contacts home, no response. So then, obviously it progresses above, my pay grade. But I have one student I didn't see the last 10 weeks of school. He didn't show up the last 10 weeks. Hadn't seen him at all. So he's okay because he went to other classes. He just didn't go to my class. He would leave early. So I'm not sure why it held your comment, Lunatic. You just put like a couple emojis. It was weird.
Conversation all the way back on June 9th. So at this hour, authorities are keeping the identities of those 6 victims under wraps. Neighbors have told us children live in the home. We've spoken to those who live nearby to learn more about the family, but out of respect for the investigation, we're going to hold off on sharing those details until we get...
In respect to this media outlet for not sharing those details, because others have. And, I had another clip I was going to show first, and I was like, nope, I'm not doing that one. I'm going to do this one because they were more respectful about it. Lily says, I loved skipping classes. My school, when I was in school, you couldn't really skip class because it was so small. So, there wasn't really anywhere to go.
the official confirmation from authorities, and you can see here there is still quite a bit more work to be done. As the sun comes up, we can see sort of the scope of the crime scene investigation and just how much of this street is taped off. It's a very busy area, lots of homes here, homes that are attached, multifamily homes, single-family homes. So it's truly a morbid discovery that this neighborhood is waking up to, and as we find out more and observe what's going on here with investigators, we'll, of course, bring it to you. Laura Jemet is here as well with me, and she'll have more, as will I, coming up throughout our morning newscast. For now, we're live in Mechanicville. I'm JT Fetch, CBS 6 News.
That's a cool name, JT Fetch. JT Fetch. Okay. Pookie, have a good day at work. Nanny says, I never skip school except senior skip day. I don't know if we ever had a senior skip day. See, I didn't really skip school because I got out early. And so it was kind of, I'm sure I probably did. I don't remember, but I took more classes as an underclassman. So when I was a senior, I could leave by 1 o'clock. All right, so this next clip is an update where they confirmed that there were 2 adults and 4 children. So the first clip we watched was earlier this morning. This one was this afternoon, where they did say it was 4 children, 2 adults. And my mom told me one of the news stories she saw had said it was a grandma, a mom, and the 4 kids.
We are continuing to follow the breaking news out of Mechanicville on Harris Avenue. We now know 4 children.
And I will say Christina Arangio is my favorite newscaster around here. When she first started, I wasn't really a fan, but she is my favorite. And I always like seeing her on clips when I play, stories around here, because I don't have cable, so I don't really watch the news, but she's my favorite newscaster.
And 2 adults were found dead inside an apartment following a welfare check by police last evening. The news has obviously shaken that community. While details are still very limited and we wait for more information from police, News 10's Bianca Caputo has been talking with neighbors.
Okay, Bernadette, so you saw that too about the grandma, the mom. And, the first thing I thought of was carbon monoxide, but you wouldn't necessarily have heat on. And then, like, my mom's like, it was probably an ex-boyfriend or ex-husband. I'm like, okay, way to go to, like, the really dark stories right away. Clearly something happened. Then I had said maybe it was a murder-suicide. You don't know. So it's just really sad. Really sad.
Neighbors and has a statement from the Mechanicville School District. She joins us live outside the apartment complex. Just an awful, awful story. Bianca.
This is an awful story. We've been told that the Mechanicville police responded at 6:20 p.m. last night at this apartment complex after receiving a request for a welfare check from neighbors who hadn't seen the individuals inside these apartments for a number of days. When the police entered, they discovered...
Oh, so this is the one. She had said a number of days, where the last newscaster had said 2 weeks, which I suppose is a number of days.
4 children and 2 adults deceased inside. Mechanicville Police Department is currently leading the active investigation to learn about the nature of these deaths, and Mechanicville Police Chief Bill Rabbit says,
we're being assisted by New York State Police Major Crimes Unit, and I'll have more information once all the notifications have been made to the next of kin.
Neighbors last night say they don't know how to explain what happened to their children.
The kids are always listening when the adults are talking, so they're going to know something's up, and especially when their friends don't show up for school.
All the kids just run around together and play.
The Mechanicville School District released a statement to parents before 9 a.m. saying there is a plan in place to, quote, make sure that counseling will be available to any students who feel they need to talk to someone.
So it makes me wonder how long the school-aged kids weren't in school.
People who live here say Harris Avenue is a quiet neighborhood of young families and older people. They say the deaths are shocking and painful for the community.
Very upsetting. It's just having a little guy and knowing that there's 4 little babies that are no longer with us. It's very upsetting.
Despite the horrifying situation, neighbors say they know the community will come back stronger.
When something big happens in the community, when something devastating happens in the community, they all tend to band together.
Investigators told us that there is not a known threat to the public at this time. Stick with News 10 as we learn more and have more for you later this evening. Reporting live in Mechanicville, I'm Bianca Caputa.
Okay, and let me, KCG says, is the family white? That we do not know. We do not know. So let me just see if there was any, like I said, that was earlier this afternoon, so. I'm just going to see if there's anything updated. They have identified the victims. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to see. I think I'll do an article. Here we go. All right, so let me share this. So this was 7:17 p.m. So about an hour ago. Oh, shit. Hold on, please. I forgot to plug in my computer. Damn it. Hang on 1 second. There you go. Hopefully you can hear me. StreamYard is like moving really slow. All right. Is my bubble moving? It should. It is. Okay. 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 So mother, children, grandmother identified after found dead in Mechanicville home. Mechanicville police have released the identities of 6 people found dead in a home on Harris Avenue. They are Amy Stedman, 64, Sarah Myers, 44, Harper Harmon, 13, Hudson Harmon, 11, Gavin Harmon, 10, and Gracelyn Harmon, 10. So all middle school aged kids. Yeah, Smoking. I should have put a note on there. It's a good thing I looked at my battery and I was like, oh my gosh, it's almost dead. Police say the victims' bodies were all found Tuesday evening in the home of Amy Stedman, who was Myers' mother and the children's grandmother. Police were called to the home for a welfare check. A neighbor said they hadn't heard from the family in about 2 weeks. Investigators say Myers and her children lived in the same apartment complex, but not with Stedman. They say there is no evidence anyone outside this group was involved in the deaths, and there is no known threat to the public. Police told CBS 6 that autopsies have been completed and that they are expected to release more information on Thursday morning. Anyone with information is asked to call Mechanicville Police at 518-664-7383. So the fact, and I could be reading into the this, but the fact that police said there's no evidence anyone outside this group was involved in the deaths, that tells me that there was some type of violence or criminal act. And the fact that they didn't live with grandma, they lived in a different apartment, but they were all in grandma's apartment, also tells me that something happened. Oh, the dress? Is it? Oh, the thing probably changed, right? I'll have to go back and look. How deep is your hidden childhood trauma? Is this trying to tell me something? Is this trying to tell me something? So let me just look at chat quick, and then we'll get to, I think I'm going to save the rescue story for a different live stream because it is almost 8:30 and I do have to go to work tomorrow. So, and the press conference is like 20 minutes. So you know what, actually what I'll do, I will read the article that I have, and then I did put the link to the press conference in the description of this video. And then I will also share the link in chat. If you want to see the full press conference, I will just read the article that I have about the rescue story, because I did read that, so I know what's in it. Steph says we all need to click that link. Well, now what does it change to? Oh, 12 childhood trauma archetypes. Okay. You know what? Let's take that off the screen for now because I don't need it telling me anything else that I don't need to know. So let me just look at chat quick because it's hard when I'm talking. I don't really see the comments. I look, but then I don't see them. Pookie said, Emmy, yeah, she hasn't been rude lately, but the other day I asked her what the weather was, and so she said wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour, and I said, holy shit. And she was like, I know, it's crazy, right? And I was like, wow, okay. Yeah, and for some reason, I don't know if anyone else has this problem, I always have her volume at a certain, like 6, say volume 6. When I ask her what the weather is, she's at like volume 1. And I said, why don't you stay at the volume I told you to stay at? No response. Oh, Pookie says she lost our fight. She's still unplugged. I actually bought a new one because I wanted to have something in the foster room because it gets quiet in there. So I was going to have like just like, you know, calming sounds in there for them. I would just play music for them all day. But another thing that's on my list to do, and I haven't done it. So all right. Marie says, I even go incognito when Google searching. We all should. Never look at lunatic search history. She didn't say, Emmy, that's a naughty word. No, she didn't. She said, I know, right? And then she said something about, like, make sure you hold on to your belongings or something like that. I don't remember, but she was having a whole conversation and I was like, I didn't need a response, but thank you. Team Brit says, I won't name the case here, but a ton of info from conversations inside the home was obtained from Miss. Oh, interesting. Okay, so let me go over here. I want to add this. So like I said, the full press conference is in the description of this video. And if anyone wants to watch the press conference, we could do it on a different live, but it is almost 8:30 and which is okay. We had a really good discussion. So I don't always plan to get through everything because depending on, you know, what we discuss and what happens. All right, so looking at this. So this took place in Fortuna, if I'm saying that correctly. And I initially had seen the headline. Let me just go to what the video was called. It just said more than 730 animals unaccounted for as investigators dig at Miranda's rescue property. And I was like, what the heck? What the heck? And so I just put it in my watch later. So then I said, let me get an article, because the press conference, though we find, we hear things that it's not always succinct. So hundreds of dogs remain missing as search resumes at Miranda's rescue. And actually, let me put up my banner. So viewer discretion advised. I was able to get through this okay, but some of us may, find this distressing. So viewer discretion advised. Yeah, Team Brit, thanks for stepping in. I'm glad to see you. Yes, Cheese, Fortuna, California. Humboldt County investigators served a second search warrant on Tuesday morning at Miranda's Rescue, a 50-acre animal rescue facility in Fortuna, whose owner, Shannon Miranda, is suspected of killing dogs for profit and burying them on his property. A scumbag is what he is. At a 2 p.m. press conference at the scene, Sheriff William Hansel said investigators used ground-penetrating radar to search for anomalies in the soil and confirmed they had recovered the body of one horse and one smaller animal that could not yet be identified, but which was, quote, the size of a dog. The search was carried out by members of the Sheriff's Office and Animal Control, as well as representatives from several other state and federal agencies, including the California Department of Justice, the FBI, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Hansel said the operation will continue for the next few days. We'll be done when we believe that all evidence is seized from this location. In addition to searching for the bodies of animals on the property, Hansel said they were also looking for records and, quote, other proofs to the crime of fraud and animal cruelty. Oops, just closed the window by accident. Give me one moment. The Sheriff's Office first launched an investigation into Miranda's rescue on May 1st after two Humboldt County residents, Jennifer Raymond and Jenna Moore, entered Miranda's property at night and dug up the bodies of 8 dogs. What? What? So we have some vigilantes on our hands. These two women were like, something isn't right here. We're going to go find out ourselves. Though an official cause of death has not been declared for those animals, trigger warning, mute for like 10 seconds. Many of the dogs appeared to have gunshot wounds. In their first search of Miranda's rescue on May 1st, sheriff deputies seized firearms and ammunition, as well as a laptop, phone, hard drive, and physical files from the property. Miranda's rescue, which claimed to be a no-kill sanctuary, has contracts with municipal shelters throughout California. Hansel said that after conducting interviews with many of those shelters, the office determined that between January 2025 and the spring of 2026, more than 900 dogs were sent to the rescue, including one from Hawaii. Like this man needs to be in prison the rest of his life. Like, this is really messed up. Miranda often told shelters that the dogs they'd sent had been adopted out, but there is evidence that at least some of those adoptions were faked. Hansel said that Hansel said that of the more than 900 dogs, investigators have been able to confirm only about 100 adoptions. We have 730 animals that are unaccounted for. And that's part of the reason why we are here today. He said a team of forensic veterinarians was on site and prepared to perform necropsies and scan microchips in an effort to identify the animals and determine the cause of death as quickly as possible. Once sufficient evidence has been gathered, Hansel said it will be turned over to the district attorney, the attorney general, and the U.S. attorney, who will decide whether or not to file charges against Miranda. Until then, quote, he's allowed to have animals on his ranch and operate his business at this time. He has not been criminally charged, end quote. So because he hasn't been charged yet, it can be business as usual. I'm wondering if there's any animals that are alive on that property. Because if there are, they need to seize those animals immediately. Because this guy is going to just go rogue. Or run away. Or both. Raymond said she was glad to see the investigation progressing. This is a great day for us. We have waited for this a long time. Okay, so Raymond was one of the ones that went and dug up the remains with another woman. Yes, Jennifer Raymond was one of the ones that went up. Oh, I know. Hey, Froggy, how are you? I agree. He shouldn't be allowed at all. Lost Lily says single gunshot to the head is acceptable euthanasia method by the American Veterinary Association. But give me 1 second. I just want to look at something quick. Okay, now I can't find what I was looking for. Oh, it just says they appeared to have those types of wounds. It didn't necessarily say where those wounds were. All right, so I think, all right, we're going to just go to my last story. So the story about France, I will save for another live stream. So I have one last story, and then we will pause. We will kick this popsicle stand. What is going on? Did it just unshare? Emmy, get with the program. Get with the program. Hit the wrong button. Okay, there we go. All right, we got it. We got it. All right, so this last story, because as you know, for those of you who may be new here, we always end with like a feel-good story or something more positive, because a lot of the stories I talk about are not positive. They're very heartbreaking, sad, etc. So this title of this is Cat Lands Museum Security Job. So Cat protects Brooklyn's Bone Museum. I didn't even realize it was a bone museum. Like, how is this like full circle, right? Full circle.
As we kick off Take Your Pet to Work Week.
You gonna do it? You gonna jump?
We're meeting a cat who actually has a job, guardian of the bones.
We have people coming to the museum just to see the cat. We have people that come to the museum not even knowing that we have a cat.
His name is Bon Jovi, and he's in charge of...
Bon Jovi? Stop. What is a PPP loan, Bernadette? Miranda's Rescue got an $84,000 PPP loan.
Security here at the Bone Museum in Brooklyn. Thanks to the now dated medical bone trade, this establishment is home to the largest displayed collection of human remains on the East Coast. And Chief Jovi makes sure no intruders go near it.
Not the microphone wire. No, bone, please.
Not even an evil microphone cord.
I think you won.
Over the past year, Bon Jovi has become a bit of a celebrity with the museum's millions of followers on social media after he was adopted from Best Friends Animal Society during an adoption event almost exactly 1 year ago.
We immediately saw Bon Jovi. He was the chubbiest, calmest cat out of the bunch.
With Bon Jovi's approval,
oh my gosh, he's so cute. Do you remember that, was it Sylvester? There was a cartoon, what was it? Or Heathcliff. Heathcliff had like a friend. He reminds me of somebody, either, I don't think it's Sylvester. I think it's somebody from Heathcliff. But he's so cute. So cute.
Operations Director Masha Potemkin was permitted to give me a brief tour of the collection.
Right now we have over 180 real spinal columns.
Which features the country's largest display of accessible spines and even some bones you can touch.
This is someone's real foot?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's just kind of strange. I mean, why do you need that many spinal columns? I don't know. I guess there's like some people, there's a knack for it, but I'm good. I'm good.
And a fun fact about this one is this person had actually broken one of their toes at one point. You can see it right here.
But if you're not into gaining an osteological education, many people just come in here to meet this spooky kitty.
Oh, he's got a little bone collar.
Who has a bone collar and a skeletal fish toy. And he's serious about his craft.
This is called flesh.
Look what happened when I tried to bring him a regular-looking fish toy.
He prefers the bone one.
And the name Bon Jovi, guys, was voted on by more than 20,000 fans. And the TikTok account of the actual band, Bon Jovi, did comment on his video saying, quote, "Security is tight."
Oh my God. Oh no. Stop. All right, well, that's annoying. And I'm actually not going to play that song out. I'm actually going to play a different song. So I was going to play Breakfast at Tiffany. Well, maybe I'll still play it. I don't know. I had another one because I was feeling kind of in a mood when I started this live. But you know what? We're just going to end with Breakfast at Tiffany's because I'm not in a mood anymore. I'm actually feeling better. So thank you, everyone, for being here. I do appreciate it. Tomorrow, I think tomorrow I'm not going to be live. I think I'll be live again on Friday on this channel. And then Saturday, as I said at the beginning of this live, I will be live on my second channel, which is Beneath the Headstones. I just remembered I forgot to put the link to the press conference. If anyone wanted to watch the press conference in regards to Miranda's rescue that police gave, this is the link to that. And I will keep an eye on that to see if there's any more updates. And also with the other two stories that we have talked about today. I need to do an update live at some point too. There's just so much happening. There's just so much happening that I need to just take one day to kind of look through. Speaking of updates, if you remember Luciano Fradolin, who was the father from Canada, who came to New York on vacation with his daughter. He ended up killing his daughter on their way back to Canada. His trial is currently scheduled to start in July. My goal is to get to his trial. Maybe not every day because it is quite a hike, but I do want to get out there at least once to see the trial. I'm hopeful that it will be televised, which would make things a little bit easier. But if it's not, I am planning on going out there at least once for his trial. So spicy, Emmy. I don't know if I'll be spicy. I mean, I'm going to have a few days to reflect. And like I said, I'm writing a plan out because I'm not going to just go in there guns blazing. It's going to be organized and it's going to be calm. It's not going to be like the last live stream I did on this channel that I didn't plan on doing because that was not great. That was not great. Is Doodle still here? Doodles, are you still listening? Pookie says we have a murder trial that just got moved there. That's interesting. All right, I don't see Doodles. Okay, so, oh, you are here. Okay, I just wondered because I had seen you earlier and then I hadn't seen you for a little bit. Oh, thanks, Bernadette. I will look those up. Let me write that down. So it was 89 and 87, right? I think that's what it said. See, I have a good memory when it comes to details, but I don't have a good memory when it's things that I have to do. My second channel is Beyond. Oh my God. Oh, see, Steph's on it. Steph is faster than I am. Yeah, it's Beneath the Headstones, and I keep the drama stuff over there. So I initially created that channel because I wanted to separate the drama from this channel, because I started this reviewing Bullhorn Betty, and then, you know, things started happening. I was being, you know, I took a lot of shit for, you know, being someone's friend, which allegedly was an illusion or, you know, a hallucination. But I didn't want it over here. So I created Beneath the Headstones. And so there are some videos over there if you want to check out. I was initially going to use it as like a way to have a timeline of what happened from September 2023 to now, and it's just too much. It's just too much. So I 86 and 89. Okay, I was close. Yeah, so I try to go on there once a week, but I was looking at it today and I haven't been live over there in I think 3 weeks. It'll be 4 weeks. So that I'm not going to say exactly what I want to talk about, but as the thumbnail reads, you didn't see this coming. And everything is just hilarious. Everything is so funny that the majority of us forgot to laugh. So with that being said, I hope everyone has a great rest of your day, night, morning, wherever you may be. If you are watching this on the replay, #replay, leave a comment below. If you haven't hit that like, please do so on your way out. And until next time, y'all, I will see you on the flip side.
You say we got nothing in common, no common ground to start from, and we're falling apart. You say the world has come between us, our lives have come between us. Still, I think you just don't care. And I said, what about breakfast at Tiffany's? She said, I think I remember the film, and as I recall, I think we both kind of liked it. And I said, well, that's one thing we got. I see you, the only one who knew me. Now your eyes see through me. I guess I was wrong. So what now? It's plain to see we're over, and I hate when things are over. There's so much left undone. And I said, what about breakfast at Tiffany's? She said, I think I remember the film, and as I recall, I think we both kind of like said, well, that's one thing we got. You say we got nothing in common, no common ground to start from. We're falling apart. And I said, what about breakfast at Tiffany's? She said, I think I remember the film, and as I recall, I think we both kind of liked it. And I said, well, that's one thing we got. And I said, what about breakfast at Tiffany's? She said, I think I remember the